This exhibition is about how women engaged in traditionally male parts of society, so aspects like politics and science, and it's through the art of quilting that we look at how those women participated in society.
We call the exhibit A Piece of Her Mind because we're looking at the mind, what's going on in the minds of these women. We can't read their minds entirely, but we can read their quilts and see that the designs they were choosing and the things that they were including in their quilts reflect their interest and involvement in current events and politics and popular culture, and influenced by advances in science and technology.
And so this illustrates that yes, women did know what was going on. They did have an opinion, and they some chose to express that in the things that they made. What I enjoy about this exhibit is that Alden, our curator, searched our collections for objects that clearly influenced the quilt that you're looking at. So you have not just the quilts by themselves and some text, but you have objects that the woman may have come into contact with as she was perhaps making the quilt or planning the quilt, or maybe it inspired the quilt altogether. So you see the inspiration and the quilt, and I think it adds a depth of understanding of the time period in which the quilt was made.
We had fun with a lot of these different quilts, but one sticks out. We have two Crazy Quilts in the exhibit, and Crazy Quilts are really kind of a dumping ground for popular culture. Women just put embroidery and paintings and little fabrics that represented all kinds of different things that were going on at the time, different fads. And there was a big fad for the aesthetic movement, was a big movement in the decorative arts. And so women include motifs related to that. But one of our Crazy Quilts even has an embroidered portrait of Oscar Wilde, and he was sort of the poster child of the English aesthetic movement, and he came to America to great acclaim and went all around the nation giving lectures on the decorative arts. So it makes perfect sense that you'd find Oscar Wilde along with the other motifs, and we had fun researching what was the source of that embroidery, and it came from a portrait that was done of him in New York when he first landed. And so tracing Oscar around the country and who was covering him and who was publishing this sketch that could have been the inspiration for the Crazy Quilt was quite a fun little path to follow.
I think my favorite quilt in this exhibition is the Dr. Syntax Quilt. There are 11 prints from the Dr. Syntax series by Thomas Rowlandson that have been recreated and pieced together in this quilt. So if you were to walk up to it, you'll see the 11 prints that we have from our collection, and you can find throughout the quilt where those prints have been reproduced. It's a very fun quilt to look at.
I hope that people get from this exhibit that they were engaged in their society and they did want to make some sort of statement about what they were experiencing and learning about their culture.